Hello, my friends. Oh, goodness. You gotta love technology. Let's see if we are doing okay now. I don't know why connection is bad. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. So far, so good. So I'm going to give it a couple seconds, see if you guys find me again. I apologize. I just restarted. Actually, I got booted off. So hopefully this connection will be better. I'm just going to give it a second to make sure you guys can all hop on. We'll be good to go. Like I said, we've got new catalog that's coming. So if you want to get one of those in the mail, be sure to fill out that form. I'll post it in my email today. If you're on my email list, you'll get that. If not, you can always email me at hello@craftwhatmatters and I'll send you over the form. The form just makes sure that I get all your information correct. It looks like we're good. So, welcome back. Sorry about that. You gotta love technology. So as I was saying, we've got the brand new catalog coming in September. So those will ship out at the end of August, right from Stampin' Up. So you'll get them from me, but they're going to come straight from Stampin' Up because it's cheaper shipping right now. So we'll have those. That sign up goes through to the end of the month. And then later today, or actually probably later this week, I will be opening registration for my Home for the Holidays Home for the Holidays virtual retreat. So we'll have some pillow gifts and some fun make and takes and some prizes and games. And that later at the end of this video, I'm going to actually get your input on which suite we should use for that virtual retreat theme. It's going to be Home for the Holidays, so it'll be Christmas themed. Make and takes will probably be Christmas themed as well. And it's going to be the end of October. So just watch for that. Today, I'm going to actually share with you a little bit more with the Pretty Poinsettias bundle. I actually got the new impressions pad, and so I'm going to show you how to use that with this stamp set. And then also, and I'll show you. So see here, see how this the dies look a little bit different, like they've got like that two-tone color. That is an indication that it actually works better with the impressions pad. So we're going to use that and I'll show you the difference today. And then also, I haven't played with my new shimmer brushes, so I thought we would use that today too. So let's go ahead and get started. Since it looks like you guys are back, it looks like my feed is better. So I want to go ahead and do this while I can. I'm going to switch this around. And we'll do some crafting with this Pretty Poinsettias stamp set. So, or bundle, I should say. As I mentioned, this one it uses this impressions pad. And I did not know this, actually. I didn't notice it in the catalog. I noticed the impressions pad, but I didn't realize that it was recommended for certain stamp sets. So I did a little experimenting yesterday with my team in our team gathering, our virtual team gathering. I had just received this yesterday. Ooh, it collects a lot of dust. But it's a silicone pad. It's pretty thick. It's probably like 1/8 of an inch thick, I would say. But this is designed to be used in conjunction with your dies. So this is separate than the hot foil system. It's separate from your regular dies. You're going to use the Stampin' Cut and Emboss. But you'll see a difference. So I did this one without the impressions pad, right? So it still looks pretty. You don't have to have it, right? Let me move this out of the way so you guys can see without it. So you can see that, right? It still looks pretty good. But then if you pair it with the one with the impressions pad, it's just kind of puffy. See that? Can you see the difference? So this one's just a little flatter. This is just a little more going like a little bit more depth, I guess. Can you see that? So I'll show you how to use that today as well, and then we'll just make a card together again. We're going to use this collection one more time, and of course I think my husband and or my stepdaughter are outside working on the Mustang, so it's a little noisy out there. Let me know if it's too noisy, if you can't hear me well, and I will shut the windows just long enough to do this video. But I do have my microphone on, so hopefully that will help. All right, so I'm using Peaceful Pine. I just love this one for a Christmas card. This is one of the new in colors. It's so pretty. All right, so we're going to start with that. I do still have this piece out from when we were using it last week. I'm not sure I'm going to use it again, but we'll see. I do love a good tone on tone, but I do know I want to use this leaf. So I've got the Impressions one, and I'm going to cut another one just so you can see. Although, actually, I got to cut another one anyway because that's the wrong color. We want to use the Peaceful Pine. So let me cut this. I'm going to cut probably two. I'm just going to cut this a little bit so I can fit it on my... Actually, I'll use this one. I'm going to fit it on my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And I'm going to put this on the table so you can see it as well. And, all right. So the trick with this Impressions pad is you want to cut first and then emboss. So cutting is your traditional sandwich. You're going to just do... Hi, Debbie. Thank you so much for sharing. You're going to do your big mat. So tab 1, tab 2, and then tab 3. And then we're going to put this in here. And you can see in the dies which ones are the cut and emboss ones by the look of them. So look at these, right? So these are all going to give you that like depth in dimension to it when you cut it. So I'm going to cut one of these out of here. So the first thing is we're going to cut it. Same process as always, right? So we're going to just go ahead, put that in here, and then roll that through. Now, for the second half, we're going to take this. We're going to, whoops, don't fall out, don't fall. Oh, I fell out. So the key is to keep the paper in your die. Okay, so we're going to stick that back in there. All right. And then we're going to turn it upside down. And for this sandwich, we're going to do your 1 and 2, your die upside down with the cutting part face up, and then your matte and your gray, the number 4, the gray shim piece. And then we're going to roll that back through. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here. You'll see that come through. All right, and now you'll see, very staticky, but now it's embossed like deep. It's got like that deep embossing. So remember, if we look at the original one without, it's this one. It's just kind of flat. It's still embossed, but it's just not quite as much depth as using that Impressions pad. So it's just kind of fun. And there's some new stamp sets in the new catalog that use this kind of concept as well. So you can just kind of see how much more depth that is. So we'll do that. And then actually, while I have this out, let's go ahead and do some poinsettias in the same way. I have some red. I think the red and the, yeah, these will look, I want red. Maybe I'll do cherry cobbler. We'll soften them up a little bit. That's a card base. There we go. Yeah, do we like this? Yeah, I think those look pretty together. Let's do that. All right, so now we're going to go back to that same original sandwich, and I can actually cut them at the same time. So let's go ahead, put my red there, and then we're going to use, I'm going to do the 3. Actually, there's 4. I don't know if I can fit all 4. Let's try it. Let's see if we can do all 4 at once. And then we can layer a pretty multi-dimensional poinsettia together. All right, so we're going to cut first. Right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll cut those. Okay, just roll it through. All right. Sorry, I hope I'm not grunting into the microphone over here. That took a little muscle. So again, we're going to want to keep these in here. Okay, I'm going to move this, and we're going to put them face up on our platform, number 2, like this. Oh, that one came out. Hold on. Let's put it back in there. Make sure it's all lined up in there. Okay, now we're going to do our impressions pad on top. Make sure it's on top. And then the gray shim. And then we're going to roll that through again. Sorry if the camera's shaking. It's because my table's shaking. All right, and now, whoops. Look at that. Look at that depth. So now we've got all these pretty petals to build a poinsettia with. All right, let me clear this out of the way. We'll put some of our mess away. All right. Put those over there. Let's put these dies back so I don't lose them. Okay. This is always the trick, getting them back on here. I should really pay more attention when I take them off, but I never do. Alright, so we're just going to pop that one out. We'll put that one over here. And then last but not least is this one. And you can kind of throw them and then they come apart, which is nice. Oh, and I still have my leaf out too. I don't know how that goes. We'll put that away later. So now I have these. I might want some more greenery. We'll see. To kind of build with. So obviously these kind of go together. So you just kind of layer them so they're kind of filling in all the little holes, right? Kind of like that. So now we're going to build a pretty little poinsettia. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and glue those together. So let's go ahead, grab a little bit of liquid glue, and we'll, oops, this glue is hot. So it's just like pouring out of it. All right. You really don't need that much. So I'm going to actually take this and kiss it to this to get some of that off there. It will dry clear, but trying not to make a big mess, right? So then we'll layer this one on here like that. And then this one on here. And I'm just going to take some of that excess glue out of there. Hold that together for a second. It will dry clear, but I'm going to just wipe some of the excess out of there. Look at how, like, dimensionalized that poinsettia is, right? Isn't that pretty? See? All right, so I'm going to kind of set that aside. We're going to go back to our paper. I want to do something on here, so let's go look at the stamp set, and we'll see what we can do for the background here. There is this little plaid guy. I'm wondering if I try to line that up, or maybe I just use some flowers in the background, or I could do some leaves in the background. Decisions. I think I'm going to go with the little flowers. Let's use these. We'll do tone on tone. So I'm just going to take some blocks, which I have one here. And I'm going to use the Peaceful Pine, which is the color of the cardstock. So I'm doing tone on tone. When I say that, I just mean the color of the cardstock and the ink are the same. And you could stamp off if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and go straight to paper. And I'm going to just stamp these kind of randomly. And I have no idea what I'm doing with this. So we're going to go a little bit off the page. It just makes it look more like a printed pattern when you continue the pattern off of the cardstock too. And I am kind of rotating the stamp as well. Let's do a little bit up here and maybe there, a little here, and a little here. All right, we'll start with that. Okay, so now I do have, I don't know that I want this whole piece, but I do have this piece here, which is already embossed, but I'm thinking maybe we cut this down a little bit and make it a little bit smaller, maybe like 3.5 by 4.5, so you see some of that background stamping. Okay, and then we'll layer that on here. Oh, but now when I put that on here, we see there's a little hole there, right? So let's go ahead and just fill that in a little bit. There. Okay. All right, so we got that. Now we still have our cute little flower, which is very gluey. I'm going to actually kind of separate the leaves a little bit. They'll get smushed a little bit in the mail, but I just want some dimension to it, so they're not all stuck together. Okay. And I'm thinking we'll use that kind of as the focal point, right? Okay, so we're building this together. All right, now maybe a little gold in this one. What do you think? I wonder if I have a big enough piece of gold to mount that white piece to. I know I'm running low on gold. If I can find where my gold is. Let's see. I need to organize my papers because they're all... I used to have them by catalog, but now we get so many online exclusives that it's kind of a mix. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I don't know where my gold is, but we do have some new golds, so I'll show you another sneak peek. How's that? Let me find the specialty paper. Alright, so this is part of another suite that's coming out in the September catalog. It's called Timeless Metallic, and I'm pretty sure there's gold in this one, so we'll use this. Okay, so you can see it's real red, not copper, but it's like textured. Can you see that? And they've got gold, so let's use this, and it's green. So gold, red, green, and gold. I'm going to use the gold. Alright, and I want to mat this in gold. So we'll kind of have just a thin gold line here. So what I want to do is I'm going to measure this. Oops, this is kind of stuck to it now. So this is 3.5 by 4.5, so we'll do this at 3 and... Alright, friends. Hopefully you found me again for the third time today. I'm just going to keep continuing where we were, and hopefully after we're done, I'll just merge these two videos together. So, let me make sure we are good. It looks like we're live. It looks like we're back. This is really a bummer because I need your opinion later. So I need you guys to stick around. All right. So let me see what I've got for ribbon here as we're waiting for everybody to come back. Some cherry cobbler. No, it's real red. I might cheat and use some contraband. All right, looks like you guys are finding me again. I apologize for the cutting out. I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure why my feed is so unstable today. You gotta love the internet and technology. It's great when it works. Not so great when it doesn't. All right, I'm just picking up the mess I just made. All right, so I'm gonna use a little bit of contraband here because this twine has a little gold in it too. So I think that will be pretty with this card. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this. And I apologize again for losing you guys. The internet is not my friend today. All right, so I'm going to attach these two together. And again, I'm just kind of using a lot of the stuff that's on my table here today. So we use the impressions pad. You saw that. And then in a second, I'm going to show you how to use the shimmer brushes. So we have the shimmer brushes in all of the new ink colors. So they're super fun. I honestly, in true honesty, I had to have them as soon as I saw them, and I have not used them yet at all. So we're gonna play with them. All right, so I'm just tying a little bow for this. And yes, I know it's not Stampin' Up stuff, but it just works really pretty. I love the gold and white for Christmas. All right, so now we've got this, right? And we've got our little poinsettia. Whoops. My centers came apart. Let's glue those together. Thanks, Debbie. Thanks for coming back. Sorry. The internet is not my friend today. All right, so now we've got this. And we're going to go ahead and this is going to go in here. But then don't forget we have this really fun little leaf. I might cut them apart, I think. So we'll get 2 little sprigs instead of 1. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and tuck this one under here maybe, or maybe over here. Let's do, I want to try and hide that because it looks kind of wonky. There, maybe. I might actually cut these apart too. Let's cut that. And we'll stick those in there like that. So I can hide that weird end. And then tuck that one in there. And then we can use this one up here. There we go. All right. So that's how we're going to do that. But before I do that, let's glitter those leaves. What do you think? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and take this apart. So I have not used this yet. So we're going to prime it. So you have to prime any of your glitter brushes before you use them, even the Wink of Stella. So this one, you're going to pull this apart. You're going to take this white ring off. On the Wink of Stella, it's a black ring. On the shimmer brushes, it's a white ring. So you just throw that out. You don't need that. Now we're going to go ahead and twist this back together. Okay. We're going to take the cap off. See how it's white? There's a little part right here. It says push on both sides. We're going to take that and we're going to gently push over scrap stuff because we're basically pushing that glitter down into the brush. Hopefully. It might take it a second. Like I said, I have not used these, so hopefully they work the same way. Oh, yep, there it goes. You can see it starting to come into the brush there. Okay, so we're going to just keep pushing gently. You don't want to make it leaking. It's starting to get so now my brush is no longer hard. It's getting a little bit more pliable. I'm going to kind of work that ink. I'm not really squeezing anymore. I'm just working that glitter down so that you don't get big piles and pools, okay? So we'll squeeze a little bit more, and I'm just waiting to kind of get some of that down to the tip there, okay? Now I can throw that out. I don't need that. And we're going to take this. So this is a Peaceful Pine is the color, and I'm just going to color this right on my leaves. So it's going to give it a little bit of green shimmer. And you can do as much or as little as you'd like. Okay. And with that new depth from the impressions pad, it's really just picking up on the parts that are raised up, which is really cool. So now I'll do the same on these. I'm kind of using the side of my brush because I don't want it to get in all those nooks and crannies. I just want it kind of on the puffy parts. And then we got one more over here. Okay. There we go. All right, so that's that. Let's put the cap on for that. And we can now start to assemble this a little bit. So this one, actually, let me put this on. I'm going to actually put this on with some dimensionals. So we'll actually add this here. Thank you guys so much for finding me again. I apologize for the internet. You gotta love it. All right, and then we're going to tuck this kind of right here. Put that on. I still haven't attached this panel yet either, but that's okay. I'm going to use regular adhesive for these. Okay. Let's go ahead and put this on. We're not getting stormy weather. I really don't. I mean, we are supposed to get some rain tonight, but it's not really stormy right now. It's sticky outside. It's a little windy, but not anything crazy for us. We usually have pretty good winds every day, being on a peninsula or an island, however you want to look at it. So I don't know why it's acting up today. I'm usually pretty good. The only thing I can think of is my husband is downstairs in the garage right underneath me, and they're using all sorts of tools down there to fix my stepdaughter's Mustang. So maybe some of that's interfering with the signal, and I can't get this far enough in here. So I'm going to go ahead, trim that down a little bit so I can tuck this under here. Hopefully when I'm done, I'll be able to, oh yeah, see my dimensional is right there, that's why. I'll be able to merge these two videos together, hopefully. And I'm going to do this under here, like that. Okay, so we've built kind of a little poinsettia cluster. Now I'm going to put this on with some dimensionals. And I've got such exciting stuff to share with you, so I hope my signal holds. So as I mentioned, you may have missed it in the in and out. I am going to be hosting my first virtual retreat in a couple of years, actually. I haven't done one since May of 2024, I think, maybe 2023. And they are 4-day crafting weekends that you do from your house. And so I have a theme for them every time I do one. The last one, like I said, was Cinco de Mayo. This one will be home for the holidays. We'll be doing some holiday-themed projects. It'll be at the end of October. And I always do pillow gifts around the theme, too. And so I need to pick the suite that's going to be kind of the theme representation, right? So there's a couple of new suites that I really love and I think could fit the vibe, but I want your opinion. So stick around and I will show you. They're both sneak peeks of the new catalog, so that's an extra bonus. All right, so this is what we got so far. Now I do want to do a sentiment. So I'm thinking maybe a circle with the most wonderful time of year, and then we could always put like merry and bright inside or 'tis the season or something like that. So let's go ahead and take this sentiment, and we'll just use the same color. These are those new magnetic pads, you guys, that are so amazing. They just open easy. They stay together easy. They they stack like magnetically too. So they're really, really great for travel. And our new ink pad, these ink pads will be in all of the colors next year, but they're slowly releasing those out. So I'm going to do a little circle, and maybe I'm wondering if I want to do a little layering with this, with the gold, but let me find some circle punches. I think the 1.5, it's a little tight. So maybe we'll do the 1.5 and 1 3/4. Do I have that one handy? 2 3/8. Where's my 1 3/4? Here it is. Yeah, let's see if I can fit the sentiment on here. Where's my white cardstock? I don't know. Let's find another piece. Alright, so I have a white piece here. I'm going to just punch that out. That I think is going to be for the sentiment. And then I'm going to take a piece of that gold that I still have in the next size up. And we will punch that out so we can layer those together. Let's see if that looks good. Alright, so I'm going to stamp this. Most wonderful time of year here. Straight down, straight up when you're stamping gives you the best. Okay, I'm going to close that so there's no mistakes. And then I'm going to layer. I wanted it a little closer, to be honest. I didn't want it that big of a circle because I was thinking of kind of tucking it in like this. I wanted it more of a thin. Let me see if, by chance, the Stylish Shapes dies has a circle that's a little bit smaller than that one. Let's see. Is this one smaller? Maybe. Just a tiny bit. Not really. See how the edge is right there? And I think the next one is going to be too small. Alright, let's try. There's one other one that we can try. The Spotlight on Nature circles, maybe. Let's see if any of those are just a tad bit smaller. I want the stitchy one. I like the stitchy one. But, of course, the stitchy one isn't small enough. Alright, this one's cute too, but this one is definitely smaller. So, now the question is, will this fit on there? I think it will. It might cover the stitching, but that's okay. Let's try it. I'm going to cut this out. And we're going to just use the electric machine here at my feet because it's faster. And we'll see how that works. Alright. Let's see. So it's just a tiny bit smaller. Oh, it didn't really cut very well. There we go. It is a little bit thicker, this gold stuff, so I should have probably run it twice. Plus my little mat is a little warped, so that doesn't help either. We'll use our Take Your Pick card, or Take Your Pick tool. Thank you, Susan. I'm glad you like it. It's coming out cute. I like it. Yeah, I definitely should have run this twice because these aren't coming out very easy. I think it's going to cover most of it anyway, so before I waste my time doing that, it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that. But see how that's a much smaller ring? That's kind of what I wanted. So I'm not going to worry about punching the holes out because I'm actually going to cover most of it. So let's go ahead and add adhesive to this. We'll put it on top of this one. And I don't think I'm going to pop it because I'm just going to kind of tuck it right in there like that. I like it. We'll use some good sturdy Stampin' Seal Plus. Tuck that in here like so. Okay. And then let's do another sneak peek because I have them handy. These are gold adhesive back dots. These are part of the sneak peek I'm going to show you for the two suites I want your opinion on, but they'll work perfectly for this card. So let's go ahead, grab our tool. And these are all the same size, it looks like, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to do, I think, one here. Whoops. One here. And then let's do one over here, like that. Okay, cute. And there we have it. And then I could do the Wink Estella on the red poinsettia if I wanted to, but we're gonna, I think my pink Wink Estella is wrapped, and we're gonna call that good. What I will do, just because we talked about it, let's go ahead and cut ourselves a mat for the inside, and then I'll stamp a sentiment on the inside as well. So we're gonna do 4 by 5 1/4. Oh, my hand's shaky. Okay, and then we'll use, let's do Most Wonderful Time of Year. Let's do, should we do Christmas Joy or Merry and Bright? Let's do Merry and Bright. I think that makes sense. Or I could do Bright Christmas Wishes. Let's just do this one. It takes up more space. And we'll use the same green ink, although you could use red inside. That might be nice. Whoops, a bit of Shelby hair. Okay, we'll stamp this there. I love that font. So pretty. So what happens to you? Yes, it definitely happens to me too. Definitely all the wonkies. Alright, let's go ahead and put this on so I don't stab myself. And then we'll attach this on the inside of our card, and then we will do the sneak peek. So, again, virtual Home for the Holidays retreat coming at you late October. Registration opens this week. And I need to pick one of the new suites from the new catalog as the suite that I'm going to use for all your pillow gifts and maybe even the make and takes. We'll see. I sometimes use a different one for the make and takes. But this is our finished card for today. But now, let's go ahead and look at our options. So these are 2 sneak peeks. Like I said, the theme for the weekend is Home for the Holidays. So, you know, my idea is at the end of October, we might want to start thinking about Christmas projects, holiday projects, things like that. Oh, thanks, Liz. I'm so glad you do. So this is the new catalog coming at you at the end of August. If you haven't already signed up, you got a couple more days. That'll be in my email today too. But there's 2 suites that I really love for this collection, for this weekend. So the first one is one that is just so stinking cute that I just love it. Okay, so it's called, I think it's called A Little Christmas, and it's got a little mouse, and he's so cute. So this is the bundle. Isn't he cute? So you've got the cute little mice, you got like hats and stuff, lights you can put on them, and then you've got the detailed dies with like a little tree and some, lots of fun stuff we could do with this, and also lots of cute little virtual gifts I could bring or bring to life. And then look at these fun embellishments, right? Cute. And then this is the paper. Is this not the cutest paper ever? So you've got one side that's kind of mouse themed and one that's kind of traditional Christmas. Look at this little guy. Oh my gosh, so cute, you guys. So this is suite number 1. The mouse suite. So lots of fun stuff we could do this. And also, if you want to weigh in at the same time, so usually I pick a suite for the pillow gifts, and then we do something else for your make and takes. But would you prefer, if we're doing a weekend, would you prefer to get your pillow gifts and your make and takes in the same suite, or do you like having 2 suites? So those of you who have done it before, go ahead and weigh in on that. If you haven't, then you don't have to. You can just tell me which of these 2 suites you like better and which one you would like to see me use for the theme of our Home for the Holidays weekend. So that's the first one, okay? The mouse suite, we'll call it, just because it's easy to remember. Okay, and then number 2, it's beautiful. It's a mega suite, so it's got 2 bundles, so it have lots of options. It's also got houses in it, so it kind of goes with the theme probably a little bit better. It's also way more elegant. It's more of an elegant suite versus a cutesy suite. But, I mean, I like both. So I think, oh, and actually, I think this metallic paper that I was playing with earlier, I think that's part of the mouse suite too. I think. Because it's called Timeless, so I think it is. But I'm not 100% sure. But it's possible. Okay, so that's that first suite. Second suite is called, I think it's called Neutral Noel. It's specialty paper. Okay. And we got, these are all one-sided. So there's one side, 6 designs. So you get 2 of each design. It's all got like the gold foiling. It's all kind of neutral. It definitely goes on the vibe of the Home for the Holidays in like a more cozy, classic vibe. But the mice are just so cute, too. So this is the paper for this one. It's not necessarily traditional in that it doesn't have, like, other than the Christmas tree, it doesn't have a lot of traditional elements to it. Okay, so there's that. And then also part of this suite, like I said, it's got a lot to. Oh, I forgot. With the mice suite, this is the twine. Isn't that cute? All right, so back to this one. We've got a woven embossing folder as part of this. And then we've got the Noel tiding. So this is one of the bundles in here. So you can see like kind of classic, traditional greenery sort of vibe. And then the other one, which is the one that I'm like, oh, this kind of works with the welcome home vibe very well, right? You've got the classic Christmas trees, all the houses. So this would be also part of the same suite. So I could use this for, the pillow gifts as well. And then it also has this jute twine as well. So as a reminder, you may not get all of this as part of the weekend, but this would be the theme for the pillow gifts. I may use it for the make and takes too, if you guys like that. But just some food for thought. If you're interested in a virtual retreat, and even if you're not, just go ahead and vote for your favorite. Would you prefer the mouse suite, or do you prefer the more neutral sort of welcome, the classic vibe, I guess we'll call it, right? So go ahead and weigh in. Watch for the registration for virtual retreat, one way or another. We're going to do something. It'll be fun. I love doing the virtual retreats. It's a lot of work, but they are a lot of fun. We do 4 days. We have crafting together. We have prizes, games, challenges, all the things. So I'm going to hop off before I get booted off for a third time. Mouse or the house. I like that, Elizabeth. Go ahead. Liz, we're gonna call it mouse or house, okay? So that's your 2 options. I think they're both cute. I think they're both fun. Your team mouse, Deb. The paper is just what gets me with this mice. Look at how cute this is. Oh my gosh. I can't. And I just see a lot of potential with this for like tags and things. This too, but it just depends on your vibe, I'm sure too. But either way, it'll be fun. We'll have a fun weekend. Registration will come out later this week, probably. Go ahead and hop on my email list at craftwhatmatters.com if you want notification of that. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like the video. If you really want to make my day, go ahead and subscribe, and that way you won't miss anything moving forward. And yeah, thanks for sticking with me today with all of the ins and outs. I appreciate you, and I love that you guys are watching with me, and I hope you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you really soon. Bye for now.